Do you ever get that gut feeling? Something that made you stop what you were doing and turn back? A feeling that you know didn't come from your head. In fact, sometimes the head tries its best to hush up that quiet voice from coming from within. Are we living too much in our heads? Do you ever feel like you've got two minds? Well, we've got two brains, that's for sure, and I'll explain more about that in a moment. Our digestive system is what this is about, and it's an entity in its own right. And during this video, I'm going to let you know the importance of having a clean and healthy intestinal system and how you can help get yours back on track. Our intestines and our brain are quite closely related. They originated from the same cell, which divided into two and then became the nervous system for the brain and the spine, and the other became the enteric nervous system for the digestive system. They then later become connected via a wandering nerve coming from the base of the skull through the thorax, meandering its way to finally reach the intestines for that head-gut connection. The entire length of our intestines, large and small, are around 10 times longer than the height of our body, between 17 and 35 feet long. It has its own nervous system complete with neurons and pathways and proteins and neuropeptide receptors equal in the amount and complexity of the brain that's in our head. And in the case of stroke victims and other damaged incidents where the patient may not be able to swallow because of brain damage, but if you put a tube into the stomach with the food in, the digestive system will sort the rest out. It can cope on its own. Our second brain, the intestinal system, is responsible for making 95% of our serotonin. And in fact, all of the chemicals that are found in our brain, in our head, are also found in our gut. I'm not going to go into too much detail here because you can do some research yourself. But one thing you'll find out is that our intestines do a whole lot more than you originally thought. The intestines are, in my opinion, the chief operator of the body. You know, if they decide to stop working, you've got some serious problems. It all starts with your mouth. It's the first opening of a large cylindrical tube that includes your throat, esophagus, stomach, 22 feet of small intestines and approximately 5 feet of large intestines. Your stomach is simply a larger, diametered portion of this tube. It's balloon-shaped, but still tube-like. There's 4 layers to this tube. The outermost coat is a protective hard skin. The next layer is a muscle coating that contracts and relaxes to move food along it, a bit like squeezing a tube of tooth gel. Except in the stomach section, where the muscles are then used to churn the food to mix it with alkalizing and digestive juices. The next innermost coat contains mostly the blood and lymph vessels that supply the tube with nutrients, and they take away the waste products of the cells of the tube. The innermost layer is the mucus layer. It's the mucus coating. It's just like the inside of your mouth. If you put your finger on the inside of your mouth, you can feel that it's mucousy and slippery, and it should be well lubricated. This mucus layer consists of epithelial skin cells with periodic mucus secreting cells scattered about. The wall of cells is tightly bound and sealed. This tight seal means that there's no penetration or leakage of bad microbes and poisons and undigested food particles that would escape from the inside of the tube to the outside. On the inside of the mucus layer is a strong coating of protective bacteria that attaches itself to the mucus layer like a protective overcoat, which is also slimy and slippery. In the small intestines, the surface of the epithelial cells that make up the tightly packed brick of walls are called enterocytes. One of the small intestine's jobs is to absorb nutrients from the food that we eat and also to pass undigested food along the tube. The small intestines are covered with tiny finger-like projections called villi, and on these villi are microvilli, which are tiny microscopic hair-like finger projections. These microvilli are so important to the health of our body. When your healthy gut microbes are wounded and dying, your gut wall enterocytes and microvilli will die right along with them. If your good gut microbes are dying off, then the bad boys move in. The bacteria, the fungus, the viruses and the worms, they set up their home in the newly vacated spaces. They breed and they quickly take over the area like rabbits on speed. When this happens, the nurturing caretaker roles of our good microbes have messed up. The cell production of the young enterocytes becomes displaced. There's fewer births of new microvilli, not to mention the deformed and unhealthy growths of others. With their housekeepers gone and the bad boys in town, they take up to 4 times as long to reach their cycle at the top of the villi, meaning that their already compromised health now has to endure harder and longer life. And this onslaught of attack can end up with most of the villi and microvilli unable to absorb nutrients and food particles. As this area becomes sicker and therefore inflamed, the strong wall of the intestines can become weak and inflamed, allowing food particles into the bloodstream that shouldn't be there. All of this could be going on without your direct knowledge. In this scenario would be typical of somebody eating a typical Western diet of processed foods, or someone consuming medication or antibiotics. The next step that we have to take to look at and understand the problems of today's health conditions is the food and drugs that we consume, and the cleanliness, or should I say more correctly, the dirtiness of the intestinal wall. That of the small intestines and the large intestine, otherwise known as the colon. The cracks and crevices can become damaged and dehydrated. Parts of the intestinal wall can not only have bad bacteria and worms and microbes and fungus attached, with candida digging its roots into the cracks of the intestinal wall like those of a concrete slab, paving bricks with weeds pouring out of them. The wall of the intestines can also have bits of undigested food attach itself to it. Processed food particles and stodgy gluten and cereals in a mushy mess can stick to areas of our intestinal wall. Bits of undigested meat can get caught up in these sticky crevices and remain there rotting and putrefying for years. Dr. Bernard Jensen, an author of many popular health books, said it become crystal clear that poor bowel management lies at the root of most people's health problems. In treating over 300,000 patients, it is the bowel that invariably has to be cared for before any effective healing can take place. Vegetarian Times on March 3rd, 1998 reported, of all of the polite topics of conversation, the state of one's intestines is probably at the bottom of most people's list. Let's face it, irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, gas, diverticulitis, colon cancer are simply not things that we'd like to discuss. And yet, as the old expression goes, death begins in the colon. Don't believe it? Ask any coroner. Autopsies often reveal that colons are plugged with up to 80% of waste material. Another vital aspect of our digestive system is its role in the production of serotonin, the body's natural feel-good hormone. Over 95% of the body's serotonin is found in the gastrointestinal tract, the GI tract, which has been called the body's second brain because of its role in serotonin production and so many of the body's vital functions. In fact, serotonin levels have been linked to everything from autism to constipation. Serotonin is a key player in the functioning of the GI tract muscles, causing the contraction of our intestines and triggering the gut nerves which signal pain, nausea and other GI problems. As well, it influences the functioning of the cardiovascular, the immune and the renal systems. This amazing hormone also regulates aggression, appetite, cognition, mood, sexual behaviour and even sleep. Imagine what would happen if you never cleaned your house, never took out the garbage, never vacuumed your car, never took a shower. What would happen to your body, or your social life for that matter? After 10 years of wallowing in filth, your body would likely to be repellent and disgusting beyond belief. But guess what? If you ignore your colon for 10 years or 20 or 30 years, the same pollution and damage can happen on the inside of your body. I spent years tracing the root cause of disease. Although everyone talks about toxic overload, no one's focusing on the real problem, and that's where that overload takes place. So you may understand that why, when training as a natural health practitioner, that colonic hydrotherapy was on top of my list for training. And with those treatments, many clients and other practitioners will get fantastic results, from clearing up of lifelong skin conditions to helping digestive disorders and diseases, to aches and pains and reoccurring migraines being fully resolved. These days, however, I no longer use the intrusive action of water inserted within to help clean the colon. I use something that seems to be much more effective and beneficial. And there was one problem with colonic hydrotherapy. It worked in the large intestines, but we were unable to reach the small intestines. Until I found out that one powerful plant can do the whole job for us. Let me introduce you to the power of aloe vera. It has many nicknames like the burn plant, the medicine plant, the skin plant, the potted doctor, the wand of heaven. Historical evidence comprising of more than 4,000 years testifies to the high regard of ancient peoples to the benefits of aloe vera. There are around about 300 species plus of aloe vera, out of which 11 are poisonous and only 4 have medicinal value. The most potent of them all is Barbadensis miller. The full potency is achieved at around the age of 3 years of age. The gel inside has to be stabilized with natural ingredients, and the aloe vera contains over 200 nutritional substances, which makes it the most nutritional plant on earth. Aloe vera contains 6 antiseptic agents, antimicrobials, lectins, amino acids, over 21 of them. It contains vitamins B1, B2, B3, B5, C, D and E, 3 types of carbohydrates, plenty of minerals, enzymes and fibers. But together they form a very strong and unique combination, which makes aloe vera the wonder plant that it is. Thus, aloe vera exhibits a number of activities such as analgesic, antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, a powerful immune modulator, simulator. It's an immunomodulator, which means if your immune system is working too low, it will help bring it up, and if it's working too high, it can help bring it down. Anti-tumor agents, antioxidants. I mean, its main actions are the boosting of the immune system, in the improvement of the overall health. And most problems that we have, I believe, originate from the toxins in our small intestines and our large. These toxins are a result of pollution in the air that we breathe, the water and the food that we eat. By cleaning up toxins in the small intestines, I believe aloe vera helps in solving a majority of our problems in the body. A good quality aloe vera taken daily has been shown to produce testimonies all over the internet. You don't need to take my word for it. Do a good search yourself on Google. Millions upon millions of people around the world are benefiting right now from this wonderful plant. Many people have repeated the phrase, "You are what you eat." I would say that's wrong, because you can eat what you like, but it doesn't mean that your body's going to absorb it. My advice is to drink a daily shot of aloe vera gel. I do mean every day. The compound effect of taking a daily good shot of quality organic aloe vera gel is something that you should try for yourself. I believe that the cleaning power of the aloe vera on the small and large intestines is unbeatable, and hopefully in the future there will be more research. Try it yourself though, because you can read as much as you like and you can hear as much as you like from other people, but until you try it yourself, that's when you're going to notice the difference. Personally, I don't see any point of using any other supplement or health food if your intestines are not clean. If there's one thing that you take from watching this video, it's that you've got to have clean intestines, because it doesn't matter what shake or supplement or magic potion you pour down your throat, it's not going to work unless you've got clean intestines. So invest in your health. Find a good quality organic aloe vera that's still alive and raw, cold pressed. and drink a daily shot of it every day, between 60 to 120 mils a day, and then you'll see the difference yourself.